Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Metallica Discography review. And last episode we got through talking about the Black Album and how I kept saying how some people think that was where the line in the sand was drawn for some diehard Metallica fans. But I'm a diehard Metallica fan, but it didn't draw no line in the sand for me. Because people thought they sold out because they didn't play thrash metal, they played traditional metal. When really, they kind of needed to move away from thrash. Because like I said in the last episode, thrash metal in the 90s really started to fizzle because of the grunge scene. But also you had death metal emerging and grindcore really getting to the point. Black metal getting really big in the European area. Thrash metal kind of took a back seat for a long time until the early to mid 2000s when the old thrash metal revival happened. And one of the albums was a Metallica album, which I'll get to probably, which is the last episode of this series. And we got, after this episode, we got 4 episodes left. So yeah, we're halfway there, starting with this episode. But this next album I'm talking about, Load, was the real turning point for some Metallica fans as far as people thinking they sold out. Because their movement to traditional heavy metal was more apparent on this album. This album also had a lot of blues influence in it too, which made this album, in my opinion, pretty unique. And why this is one of my personal favorite Metallica albums. Not necessarily the best, but a personal favorite because of certain reasons. But with Load, we start off with the song Ain't My Bitch, which is a really damn good song. I really like this song, because it's probably, this is a mid-pace song, but this was a really good song for me, and also for my brother Mayhem. We listen to this song a lot. Then we get 2x4, which is one of their most bluesy influenced songs, a blues metal song. And I love it for that reason, because I like some blues, like George Thorogood playing bluesy rock, and early blues rock leading into heavy metal, like Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, which they are heavy metal bands, but had the blues rock element into it. And this song was definitely influenced by some of those bands, and blues in general. A heavy song, too, and a really damn good song for me. Then we get to The House That Jack Built, which was another bluesy song. Very good song. I love this song to death. This is a great song, in my opinion. Then we get to Until It Sleeps, which had a music video, which is one of the most bizarre music videos I ever saw. While this is another one of those really damn good songs on this album, the lyrics to this song were very good. James wrote some really personal lyrics on this song about his mom's fight with cancer when he was a kid, and how his mom died when he was 16 years old, which is a pretty sad story for him. This song was all about that. And this was a really good song. But now we get to the best song on the album, a fantastic song, King Nothing. Heavy song, really intricate, awesome song, and the solo in the song was great as well. This is one of my all-time favorite Metallica songs. Then we get to another really good one, Hero of the Day, which had a music video. Actually, King Nothing had a music video, and that was probably the best music video from the album, but Hero of the Day was one of those unique music videos they ever did, because it was like a guy watching TV, and it's all black and white, watching TV, and he sees like different shows with the members, like a game show, and then like a Wild West kind of thing with the bands wearing cowboy hats, smoking cigars and stuff. So, pretty unique music video, but a really good song. Now we get to another one of my all-time favorite Metallica songs, Bleeding Me. I remembered when I first listened to this album back when I was about 10 years old. This was a song I was obsessed with, and I still am. This song, great. interesting lyrics, really good patterns in it. Awesome. And then we get to Cure, which was the start of the second half of the album. And after watching Cover Killer Nation's review of this album and then listening to the second half back, while I like it, I like the songs, the second half of this album did have parts where it felt like the train was running off the tracks, but it somehow came back on at the end of the album, and it's managed to stay intact. While you had songs that were kind of all over the place in the second half, which I still like them nonetheless, but Cure was a really good song for me. I really like it. But then we get Poor Twisted Me, which was a good song. I liked it. I listened to it a lot, but I'm not going to put it up there as one of my all-time favorite Metallica songs. No way. It's not a terrible song. It's a good song. And then we get Wasting My Hate, which was another one of those iffy ones for Metallica fans, but I thought it was good. But then we get Mama Said, which was slide and acoustic guitar oriented, and I love this song. This song really takes me back. It's a great song, interesting song for them too. And then we get Thorn Within, which was an interesting song, and I thought this was a really good one. Then we get to the song Ronnie, which was another one of those like train rolling off the tracks kind of feeling to the album, but it still got the job done. And it was still a good song. But then we get to the ending, The Outlaw Torn. While on this album, this is their most lengthy album. This is 1 second close to the whole 79-minute marker for one CD. But so this song had to be cut by 1 minute to fit into the album. But if you listen to the full version, which was on the Memory Remains single, this song is a great song and one of James's best vocal performances I've ever heard. So this is probably one of the best album enders for Metallica in their whole discography. But overall, with Load, it was a pretty good album, and it is one of my all-time favorites because of certain songs I just really loved when I listened to it when I was 10 years old. But for some people, this is like in the middle as far as like best to worst albums for Metallica. But I give this album an 8.5 out of 10. It was still a great album in my opinion, but the second half kind of had those moments where it's feeling like the train's derailing from the tracks, but it still managed to stay intact. Once they got to the Outlaw Torn, things were good to go. But then we get to the next album coming up, next episode, where it's a point where both this album and the next album were kind of recorded at the same time, and they had to pick and choose what songs. While I like Load a pinch more than the next album, which I'll be getting into, which is Reload, it's going to divide me a lot because of certain different things. But until then, peace.